and welcome to round 4 of the 1998 Formula One World Championship. We are here in Spain for what's been a thrilling championship fight so far. It's all still to play for. This could be a crucial Grand Prix in this year's title bout. Who's going to come out on top? We'll just have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the starting grid. It's Irvine ahead of Coulthard, Ferrari's second pole position in a row this year. They start ahead of Schumacher and Hakkinen, who both start ahead of the Saubers, Alesi, and then Herbert in 6th. Villeneuve, Fisichella, Frentzen, and Wirtz round out the last of the top 10. Then it's Magnussen, Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, and Verstappen. Hill's taken a penalty. He starts ahead of De La Rosa in 16th. Then it's Salo and Rosset, whose seat has been under pressure after some poor performances in the opening stages of this season. The two minorities start with the back. They've both picked up penalties heading into this race. But that's enough talking. The formation lap is done, and now we just wait for those 5 lights. And it's lights out and away we go. A poor reaction from Irvine there. You saw the rear of that Ferrari just kick out of shape. That's going to put him under pressure from the McLarens, but the McLarens themselves are battling to see who can come out on top. I think that's just allowed Irvine to escape with that. Coulthard just keeping his nose in. Can he put pressure into the second part of the stage? No, he can't. He has to back out of it, and that opens the door for the Irishman to just take off into the lead. The two Saubers have held on well now as well. They're using Schumacher, the slipstream from that Ferrari, to keep themselves propelled forward. It's been a clean start for most of the drivers. Villeneuve promoting himself around the outside of a Benetton. Outside becomes inside in the tricky, technical section of this Barcelona racetrack. Both the Williams moving themselves up positions. It's been a rough start to the season for them, but this race seems like a good points haul. Now we have Villeneuve battling up the inside, going wheel to wheel with the Benetton, and I think he's just made that move stick. Indeed, he has. All drivers getting off to a clean start so far, and that's Irvine, the race leader. He's escaped well after a poor start, but that's Coulthard who's gone off. Coulthard who's trying to put him under pressure, and I think he just had an unforced error there. Maybe just a little too much power escaping through the chicane. And it looks like one of the stewards is off as well. I think that's Barrichello who lost grip. And they've made contact. Barrichello's out. You see that wheel has just broken off. That could be out for Coulthard as well. We're going to need to see a replay of what happened there. Safety cars come out. Very odd errors to make at this stage. So on board with Coulthard. And yes, he just puts too much power down and gets out of shape. Those groove tires, once they go, it's so hard to get any grip back into them. What about for Barrichello? I think it was just more of the same for the Brazilian driver. Yes, it was. You see, that car just kicked out of shape, and once it was gone, there was nothing he could do. It's a mighty shunt as well. Have to hope he's okay. I'm sure we might be hearing from the medical team. Yeah, that was a mighty shunt for Barrichello to go through. I'm sure there'll be a bit of a checkup. You see, on board from the minority of Gecki there. It was a nasty collision. In fact, it was quite opportunistic for him. He managed to promote himself up a few positions, but it was rough having to take the escape route just to avoid the cars off track ahead. Now the first 9 supposedly are taking a 2-stop strategy, while those starting further back on the 1-stop. This is playing in the hands of those 1-stoppers. At least at this stage of the race, they get to stay out behind that safety car and get a little bit of track position. These people with the 2-stop strategies are going to have some work to do in this phase of the race. Make use of these fresher tires to cut through those who haven't made their stops at all yet. Pit lane is fairly busy at this point. That's Wirtz there we just ran on board with. He's got an engine failure. See that cloud of smoke that has just put him out of the race? And actually given the lead to a steward of Magnussen there. Now, he's not leading on pure pace. He hasn't made a pit stop in this phase of the race. But he has put himself in a good position going forward. He could maximize this, and even if he can't take the win, he can secure some strong points for his team. The same is true of the driver in second, the rookie German driver, Tobias Gecki. He's dragged that minority up into second place. Again, whether or not he'll be able to hold it on the restart is all to play for still. But it'll be a good points haul if he can maximize his track position. It's enough talking. We're going back to green flag racing, and it's Geki who's got the good reaction there. I think he put that power down just a little earlier than Magnussen did, and indeed he's already getting a run up the inside, but they've got company. Irvine looking to make it 3 wide. I think he thought about it for a second, then thought better of it. Geki takes that inside line. He washes out a little wide. That's opening the door back for Magnussen, but Magnussen's forced to concede, and now he's forced to look at his mirrors as Irvine closes in on him. Geki's managed to pull away at this phase, and he's going to try and take off into the track ahead. Irvine going up the inside of the Stewart there. Can he hold on? Just barely. Look at that red brake glow as all the drivers struggle for position there. And indeed, Irvine has gone up into second place. The Stewart driver falling back down the pack. And it looks like Hakkinen is promoting himself through the top 10. I think he just lost out through the pit stop phases, but he's making the most of those fresh tires. You see him tearing through the slower cars ahead of him. And indeed, he's promoted himself up into the top 10. And is lining up another move on the arrows there. But as we look, it's Geki who leads the pack now. He's under pressure from Irvine. Irvine in the faster package with newer tires. Can he make it work? He's going side by side. It's tight through this section, but Geki just holds on. Brilliant defensive driving to hold the lead of this race. Minardi leads the Spanish Grand Prix, and if he crosses the line, this will be the first Minardi lap led since 1989. Historic moments for a rookie driver. This is Geki's first season in Formula 1. And he's led spectacularly. Ultimately, Irvine gets ahead of him. The Ferrari just proves itself to be too fast. But it's brilliant driving from Geki through this phase of the race. I'm sure some of the other teams will be taking notice. And now it's Hakkinen who's promoting himself past Rosset, a driver who's under pressure, not just on track right now, but in his race seat as well. Rumors abound that his poor performances could put him out of a drive for next season. This isn't the race he's going to want. When others are profiting, he's falling behind. But there's little he can do at the hands of Hakkinen. Hakkinen has superior grip and a superior car. You really see how much he's making of it right now. Dancing around the track, trying to promote himself past the other Minardi of Nakano. They're going wheel to wheel, and Hakkinen is ahead before he even hit the chicanes. Rosset is pulled in the pits. We're getting word now that he is retiring from this race. But further up the field, it's Hakkinen again making a move. He is tearing through the midfield at this phase. Battling past Verstappen, the Tyrrell driver there. He is just putting his foot down. And we've got a replay to watch out for as well. This is Nakano, the other Minardi, just locking up and having to concede a few positions. It's not the race he wants while his teammate has been in the podium positions. He's just falling back through the pack. Not a good look for the other Minardi driver. Speaking of Minardi drivers, let's back on board with Geki. He just got under pressure there. It's for a podium position. He's going to want to hang on as best he can. Hakkinen getting past Ralf Schumacher as well. Geki is running wide there. Can he hold on? He can. Schumacher then getting past Rosset as well. There's action all throughout the grid. The grid has been completely shaken up, and all of the drivers are looking to prove themselves at this stage. It's a 22-lap sprint to the finish, and there's a collision there as well. That's Hakkinen who's gone out. Hakkinen is out of the race with only 22 laps remaining. We're going to see on board here. He's looking to go out the outside, but there was a lockup from Magnussen. Hakkinen turned in, but there's nothing he could do to avoid that. It was the lockup from Magnussen there. The car just pointed straight when he wanted it to turn right, and that ended up ruining Hakkinen's race. The move was on, the space was there. It was no error to the finished driver at all, but it's taken him out of the race, and this is crucial for the championship. Hakkinen is one of our championship contenders. And now Magnussen under pressure from Alesi at this stage. Alesi dancing around the track. He's got himself past Magnussen there. Magnussen not able to hold on, and now there's a Ferrari sizing him up for company as well. And indeed, Magnussen forced to pull into the pit lane. I don't think he has damage from that collision with Hakkinen. It doesn't look like it. I think this is just a scheduled pit stop for the Stewart team. But someone's gone else, since Fisichella's gone into the gravel trap as well. The same place that Coulthard and Barrichello went off. Fisichella's kept it running, but he's off into the gravel trap as well. It's been a dramatic race so far, and the drama intensifies. Michael Schumacher forced to retire. He parks it next to the orange tip barricade with it seems to be some kind of mechanical failure. And Magnussen's out of the race as well. The same time that Schumacher's retiring, it looks like Magnussen's retiring as well. Safety car, and that's a brilliant moment for Irvine on the two-stop strategy. That safety car is perfectly timed for his pit stop. Oh, but the Ferrari team weren't ready for him. I'm not sure who made that call. The Ferrari were not expecting Irvine to come into the pits at this phase. They weren't ready. They're fitting the tires now. Is he going to come out in the lead? Can he make this work? It's a very dramatic Spanish Grand Prix. I don't fault you if you lost track so far, but Geki is coming in the pits as well. A bit of a lockup there. Doesn't matter. We're getting rid of the tires at this phase. And finally, we have some time to breathe. It's been a hectic Spanish Grand Prix. Irvine leads. Minardi is still fighting in the points so far. We've had competitors out of the race left, right, and center. Olacy down in second. He's coming out after his pit stop. Wow, what a race we've had. So all the planned pit stops have been completed at this phase. We're just taking a look at the running order now. Irvine, Olacy, and Geki. It's not your usual podium runners that you would expect. Irvine, he's going to be happy to pick up the full 25 points when so many of his championship contenders are out of the race. This has gone to plan for him. It's been a rough start for the season for Irvine, but it's all shaping up now. This is a strong championship contention he's putting on this phase. Right then, as if we haven't had enough action already, here we go once again. Green flag conditions, 15 laps of racing. Who can hold on to the end here? It's all still to play for. If we've seen anything, it's that anything can happen in this race. Geki looks to prove that point. He dives up the inside early, looking to put pressure on Olacy. He has to back out there. In fact, it's opened him up to be under pressure from Hill, who gets past him as well. The Jordan driver moving up the pack there. And then Frenson looking to make the most of this opportunity. We're riding on board with the other Sauber there. All the drivers condensed into one small area of track. They are battling tooth and nail for position here. It's all clean so far, but as we've seen in this race, that doesn't mean it'll stay clean. And that was Geki getting out of shape there, and what's been a fantastic race up till now, that little mistake there has cost him a position. The Williams, I think that was Villeneuve who got past him, but someone else is off before we can even finish that thought. That looks like Ralf Schumacher has gone off at the top of Sector 2 there. That is Ralf Schumacher ignoring the graphical error there. In the Jordan, Ralf Schumacher just lost grip into the high-speed section starting Sector 2. Looked like he picked up a fair amount of wing damage. I'm surprised it didn't end his race, though. Look how sideways that car gets, just fishtailing left and right. And that was a hard whack into the barriers. He's lucky to keep that car running with only damage to the nose. Look at this impact here. Just rips the front wing clean off. Wow. Surprising he can keep that car running. It's a 5-second gap to the lead. Everything has gone Irvine's way. He just has to keep the car pointed in the right direction for 12 more laps. It's easier said than done, evidently. Looking on board with Fisichella there, sizing up the other Minardi of Nakano. Nakano's running in the points, but he's falling a little further back now. Fighting just wheel to wheel through the tight, twisting third sector here. Can he hold on just about? It's not enough at this phase. He loses out to the Benetton there. Taking a look back for the battle for fourth. It's Geki and Herbert. Herbert has promoted himself up into fourth position. Can he hold it? Looks like he's gotten a strong lead off the Minardi there. But yellow flag, it's Herbert who's off. He spun the car. He's the same place that we've seen other drivers go off. It's that twisting complex. The first handful of corners, Herbert again, he's kept it running. But we've seen a lot of drivers lose grip there. Herbert adds his name to that list. Dramatic results here in Spain. It's Geki now under pressure from Hill. Geki's picked up some nose damage there as well. You see that black just bit of debris that's carved a hole into the front plate of his Minardi there. Looking in his mirrors, he's under pressure from Hill. Former world champion battling wheel to wheel. He just manages to hang on, but that's going to be a resounding pressure for the final phase of this race. Can he hold on for 9 laps? Can Hill get past him for fourth? Side by side, it is the battle of the century. Both drivers have points to prove at this phase of the race. Villeneuve looking to prove something as well, trying to get past Nakano, who's fallen back through the order over the past few laps, not able to maximize the track position he was given throughout the race. And that's Villeneuve up the pack as well. See you later, son. Back further though, Hill taking the inside line on Geki. Looks like he's ahead and braking, but there's a bit of a lockup. He manages to slow the car down just in time, kept it pointed in the right direction, and that's him ahead of Geki there. Geki with an aggressive run over the curbs. That's put Hill out of shape, and Geki promotes himself up the inside of the fast right-hander, and indeed he's past Hill once more. Hill on the back foot now as the Benetton looks to make it 3 company. Going around the outside, looking to make it 2 there. He has to back out at the last second, but he keeps himself ahead of the Jordan there. They're all getting scrappy with only 6 laps remaining. On board with Gecki, you just saw how out of shape Hill got through that sector, and Gecki doesn't need a second invitation. He takes what he can get right up the inside. That's an easy position gain for the German rookie. Has to be said, it's a fantastic race for him so far. He's held on brilliantly to the track position he's been given, and some defensive driving throughout has kept him in the points running in his rookie season in a Minardi. That's no easy feat. And with all the talks of replacements, you have to say he's putting himself in a strong negotiating position going forward in the season. He is now under pressure from both of the faster teams, the Benetton and the Jordan there, promoting themselves past him. But Gecki is getting a good run here. Around the outside of Hill, can he make it a second overtake in the same part of the track? Yes, he can. He just has some kind of some extra base advantage in that corner. I don't know how he does it, but he makes it work. And indeed, he's putting the Sauber under pressure as well. He's close up the gap now. That is Nakano. I'm sorry, Nakano and Herbert there. Looks like it was Gecki on the Lacey. Not quite so fortunate there. And indeed, Hill is promoting himself past. Oh, that was close. Gecki looked to get scrappy there, getting his elbows out. You love to see the amount of confidence he's carrying in this stage of the race. I think someone's lit a fire under him. Once he knows that there's points on offer, he's doing everything he can to secure them for his team. Into the gravel there, just wrangling that car around. That's going to put him under pressure from Villeneuve, the defending world champion. Dives up the inside early. Can he slow down the car in time? It looks like he can. And indeed, he keeps himself ahead of the Minardi there. But we take a look back at the lead of this race. It's Eddie Irvine with his first career win, and in magnificent style. While all of his competitors are out, Eddie Irvine gets a 25-point advantage over them, winning the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's his first career win for Ferrari. It's his first career win in general. He led this race from start to finish. You couldn't really ask for much more out of him. A brilliant race win. Someone else with a brilliant race today with Gecki. He's going to take home 7th place for his first career points. It's a great result from the young German driver. I'm sure he'll be more than happy with his performance. And I'm sure there'll be eyes on him later in the season. Hard to ignore a result like that. Eddie Irvine taking the race win then. He is ecstatic, and I'm sure his team based in Maranello will be happy with that as well. Promotes him to the lead of the World Championship, just 1 point ahead of David Coulthard. It's still all to play for at this phase, but it's a good result from Eddie Irvine nonetheless. Looking throughout the grid then, with that result, Gecki promotes himself not only past his teammate, but past the steward of Rubens Barrichello as well. A great race result for him. And a 5th place for Damon Hill. I'm sure he would have been wanting more, but it's not a bad result nonetheless. Ferrari ahead in the World Championship standings, and now Minardi moved themselves past Stewart, Tyrrell, and Arrows. It's a great result for that team, and it's hard for those midfield teams to score points. They're going to be very pleased with their performance. Well, I'm very pleased with that race. I hope you'll join us for the next one.